Welcome back to another essential recap. Today we will be taking a look at the story called Monstrous.
What you drawn?
The pretty lady
What pretty lady?
from the pond.
Laura is a devastated woman who has left her violent husband and is now moving to California with her little kid, Cody. Approaching the new place, Laura gets the house keys from the friendly owner named Mr. Langtree. On the other hand, Miss Langtree is quite weird as she ignores Laura's hello without any reason. After having a look at her new home, Laura gets excited, but Cody feels tired and wants to take a rest. I don't think that Laura has made a good choice to live in a place far away from the city. The following day, Laura orders her son to play outside the house as she wants to scrub the floor. Against his mother's instructions, Cody gets far away from home. Seeing a pond nearby, he stops and witnesses something strange coming out of the water. At night, Laura falls asleep on the sofa watching the TV while we see a monster climbing the house walls. As Laura sees a nightmare, she wakes up hearing Cody shouting in his room. When Laura approaches the room, frightened Cody claims he has seen a monster. Laura tries to calm him down, but Cody is adamant about seeing a beast in his room. Saying that Cody might have seen a nightmare, Laura comforts her son and leaves the room. Later, she tries to call her psychiatrist, Dr. Weaver, but cannot talk to him. As Laura suffers from depression and constant nightmares, she takes out the liquor beneath her bed to calm herself. The following day, after dropping Cody off at his school, Laura heads his way to her new job place, where she will be working as a typewriter. When Cody returns from school, Laura inquires if he has made some friends. Being a quiet kid, Cody cannot make any friends. The vibe around the house seems strange as Cody doesn't talk much with his mother, while Laura continuously ignores her phone calls. At night, Laura gets a call from her husband, Scott, who desperately wants to talk to her, because he wants to apologize for his behavior. Without uttering a word, Laura hangs up the phone. Meanwhile, the TV switches off automatically, and the sofa gets ripped as if a beast has torn it with his claw. Laura immediately gets upset but cannot comprehend what's happening. Suddenly, Laura's mother calls and advises Laura to talk to her husband as he is repenting for what he has done. However, Laura doesn't want to listen to anything. As Laura talks to her mother on the phone, Cody sees something coming from the pond. Just then, a liquid creature crawls into his room and shuts the door. Hearing Cody's screams, Laura heads upstairs and tries to calm her little kid. As Cody is busy trying to tell his mother about the monster, the same liquid creature escapes from the room. At night, when Laura covers with her old blanket, a younger Laura is seen hiding under the same blanket, reading a strange book. As she reads, her grandma enters the room and thinks of Laura as Mrs. Seaton's ghost, which the family often sees in the basement. Laura cries and talks about how she desperately wants to go to the past in her grandmother's time when relationships were simpler and non-toxic. In the morning, Laura calls Dr. Weaver again and informs him about her mental condition these days. As she is having nightmares again, she wants to return to her medications. However, Dr. Weaver wants her to visit the clinic so they can talk about her case properly. As Laura is out of town and doesn't want anyone to know where she is, she informs Mr. Weaver that she will be all right. It is night again, and Cody can see the monster emerging from the pond. While Cody hides under the blanket, Laura hears a voice and heads her way outside to see what's happening. Meanwhile, the gooey monster climbs up the house, enters Cody's room, and grabs him. He screams and cries, compelling Laura to rush inside the house. As the door is jammed, Laura breaks the door's glass and sprints into Cody's room. The only thing Cody can utter is that he wants to go home as early as possible. When Laura tells Mr. Langtree that Cody has seen something in the pond, Miss Langtree gets panicked and advises Laura not to let her kids stay near the pond. "Why are you doing this to us, Miss Langtree? Just spit out the mystery behind the beast." The house's strangeness begins to escalate when Cody draws a picture of a black shadow, which according to him, is the pretty lady from the pond. He states that he thought there was a monster in the pond, but then the lady came into his room and talked to him, making him understand her situation. He wants Laura to meet the pretty lady at the pond, but Laura still doesn't believe him. As Laura is sewing her sofa, the monster emerges out of the pond and stands behind Laura. After seeing the black creature, Laura screams and experiences a nightmare as if she is drowning in the water. Laura regains consciousness and tries to comfort Cody, who has seen his mother undergo trauma. The following morning, Laura tries to talk to Cody, but he pushes her away, unlike a normal kid. To cheer him up, Laura decides to celebrate Cody's birthday, to which all his classmates will be invited. As Laura prepares the invitation cards at night, she hears a weird sound accompanied by power surges. After sending Cody upstairs, Laura takes out a knife and prepares herself for defense. Cody arrives downstairs and informs his mom that the pretty lady from the pond is standing behind her. Seeing the scary, flashy monster, Laura stabs a knife in her stomach and leaves the house with him. Cody doesn't want to leave the house as he has made a best friend after a long time, but Laura is adamant about going. Laura is compelled to spend the night in the car when the car engine doesn't work. In the morning, Laura calls St. Mary's Church and requests the sister for help. After hearing about the demon in Laura's house, the sister hangs up the phone. To dig deep into the mystery, Laura inquires Miss Langtree if there is a ghost in the house. Accusing Laura of drugs, Miss Langtree threatens to call the cops if she keeps on taking drugs in the presence of a child. Laura denies the allegations, but Miss Langtree doesn't listen to her. Laura spends the whole day preparing meals for the birthday party, but no one shows up. The following day, Laura finds the invitations in Cody's bag, revealing that he never delivered the cards to his classmates. When Laura scolds Cody for what he has done, Cody gets panicked and finds difficulty in breathing. After calming him down, Laura drops him at his school. It seems like no one in the school wants to make Cody his friend or be around him. On the other hand, Miss Langtree breaks into the house in Laura's absence and tries to search for the drugs. Laura approaches and scolds Miss Langtree for invading her home, igniting a fight between the two. Seeing Laura's inappropriate and harsh behavior, Miss Langtree gives her 30-day notice to leave the house. Laura keeps taking alcohol and cigarettes at night to relieve the stress. As she drinks alcohol, she feels pain in her stomach like she always does. Looking outside the window, Laura can see Cody heading toward the pond. Before Laura can rescue him, the monster pulls Cody into the pond, compelling Laura to jump in. Although Cody went deep, but Laura managed to save him. Due to her drinking problem, she loses her job, after which she heads her way to pick up Cody from school. When she finds Cody nowhere, she asks the guard for help. Later, Laura is seen sitting in a room with a caseworker, Barb Schiff. When Laura inquires about Cody, Barb makes Laura remember what happened to Cody last year in Arizona. According to Laura, Cody drowned in the pool, but she managed to pull him out and give him CPR until the paramedic arrived. However, expressions on Barb's face clearly deny Laura's statement. Suddenly, Laura hears a beeping sound coming from her bag, revealing that she owns a smartphone. When Laura leaves the room, she sees the California city filled with new technology and vehicles, but her car, which was brand new, now looks rugged and old. But why did Laura have a telephone? Why does she wear clothes from the 1950s, and why does she own an old car? It is revealed that Cody died in the accident last year, but Laura couldn't manage to escape the trauma. She keeps living with Cody in her imagination, which explains her constant consultation with a psychologist. One day, when Laura stopped taking her medications, her subconscious mind warped reality and compelled her to think that Cody was still alive. As Laura loved her granny dearly, she started to believe she was living like her grandmother and that everything around her was from the 1950s. When Laura returns home, she finds it wrecked and old. Cody is sitting on the chair where Laura instructs him to pack his bags. Instead of going upstairs, Cody tries to leave the house so he can return to the pond. Laura tries to stop him, but she begins to hear random noises and experiences visions of drowning in the water. Cody wants to go with the pretty lady, but Laura doesn't want to lose him again. Cody explains to his mom that his death was an accident and never his mom's fault. When Cody cries and insists, Laura takes him outside and allows him to go back with the pretty lady, who turns out to be Laura's grandmother. As Cody walks down in the pond with Grandma, Laura cries about losing her son again. The movie ends with Mr. and Mrs. Langtree cleaning the mess made by Laura last night, while we see Laura leaving the house in her grandmother's old car from the 1950s. Overall, Monstrous is an excellent movie, with an exciting storyline packed with horror and mystery. The end was indeed heartbreaking. If the problem had been the monster and not Laura's illness, it could have been relatively stress-free to watch, because it is easy to get rid of a beast than the memories of your loved ones. Thanks for watching another Essential Recap. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.